That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home.
got a YouTube channel.
Keep telling me to let me just
right.
let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck
Alright, so we
just let me go.
What gets live? Florida Europe. This is most badass But on land, ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming to see you. This is Shot from the Point. Got my point there today. Mr. BB, Biscuit Basher.
What's going on?
Yeah, do you hear Sammy the Bull's got a YouTube channel?
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I've been watching it. He's like competing with Michael Franzese now.
Get the fuck out of here.
He's fucking cool.
This is what we've become now? Retired mobsters have to go to YouTube.
The Mafia's on YouTube?
Jesus Christ, man.
I think it's great. That beats killer. Because, like, here's the thing about Sammy. Sammy's not as well educated, well spoken as Franzese, which he was more of a working class gangster, and Franzese was more of like a money guy. But he still has that amazing ability to be able to tell a story.
Well, because he lived all this crazy bullshit.
Yeah, but just because you lived it doesn't mean you can express it and tell it like a competent story. He even does that Italian thing where like he goes, and I told Jimmy, I was like, Jimmy, I wouldn't do that shit if I was you. And Jimmy's like, what are you gonna do? Hey, Jimmy, this shit's not funny. And Jimmy just looked at me, and he does that whole like breakdown in the middle of the story. He's like,
let me tell you, that's how we all tell stories.
Yeah, yeah. So there I am with the car, and I'm saying, Jimmy, that's not funny. And Jimmy's like, yeah, it's funny. He's like, no, it ain't, Jimmy. That ain't funny at all. And he's really, it's good, and it's a lot darker than Franzise's stuff.
Well, because Franzese was, like you said, he was only a money guy.
Yeah,
This thing who did the books.
I'm sure Franzese killed somebody. I'm absolutely sure of it.
But he didn't have as much activity, is what I mean.
They probably, I'm sure if he did it, it was probably in 1977 or some one-time thing to let everybody know that they had something on him, right? Yeah. Although you think they would have leaked it to get back at him because they couldn't get him any other way.
Maybe.
But, Sammy has confessed to upwards of 30 murders. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, this is the fucking guy.
Yeah, and his stories are way darker. And he's talking, well, they pulled us up to the car, and, the doc, he wasn't a doc. He was like a veterinarian from upstate. He looks at us, he goes, Jimmy, they're dead. There's nothing we can do. And he's telling him, and these are, this shit's real, man. It's like, that's a bullshit story. This guy's 75 years old. He has no reason to lie. He just did a fucking bid for about 18 years. Like, no problem, like standing on his head. And, but Sammy the Bull Gravano, I'm dead serious. He's got a brand new channel, highly and I think he's doing something with Franzese, which is awesome.
It's amazing.
If the fact that these guys have YouTube channels doesn't tell you now that the wise guys are at like a fucking 12th of the power they used to be at, there's no other signs for me to say.
They're on YouTube. Hey, listen, I got to tell you a story, but first, what I need you to do is I need you to hit the like button. I need you to hit the like button.
You end up in a terrible situation where you couldn't listen to a book.
And don't forget, right next to the subscribe button, I'm not telling you to do this. I'm asking you to think about it. There's a join button. It gives us a little extra money each year, and it's because of people like you that makes the show go. Sponsored by Raycon. Right, exactly. It's exactly. 10 tabs open. Exactly. Yeah. Sponsored by Raycon. Oh, that's so good. All right, let's get to the main thing. Well, you started your trek of internet fucking slobbery with tipster, so I imagine you have I don't even know whatever it is. Yeah, whatever it is we fucking do. Attention grabbing whores like us. And I'm not saying I'm better than you. It's just a fucking fact.
I was about to claim that title. I'm fine with that.
So, you came to the Metro game, so I've been beating this idea, and I thought about doing it with you 2 weeks ago. before I called out that one time. And it's the whole Billy Mitchell thing. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Apollo Legend, who was one of my favorite YouTubers, I'm going to tell you, he's an amazing YouTuber. And he actually did a couple of videos, in my opinion,
That's
still
a lot of money, I guess,
proving without a doubt that Billy Mitchell cheated. And looks like he didn't have enough money for his lawsuit because he settled, from what my reports tell me, and he's taken those videos down. Now, this gentleman right here, his name is Karl. He's like I don't have you in here. I don't know why I didn't do that. There you go. 1, 2, 3. Very unprofessional of me.
There I go.
This guy, Karl Jobst, who looks like, I don't know, he looks like he could play a Nazi in a fucking World War II movie, to be honest with you. He's an Australian dude. Yeah, I know. He's like an Australian dude. And he is not afraid of Mitchell. Mitchell's actually sent him an Australian version of cease and desist. And he's still doing this. This came out November 16th. And I got to be honest, I was a little iffy about covering this. But I want to see. This hasn't been taken down yet. I don't think Mitchell has moved forward with a lawsuit against Karl. So he hasn't been. I mean, Mitchell has literally spent tons of money trying to silence people over this shit. And I don't even think this shit is debatable. I mean, the game loaded up like it does in MAME. It doesn't prove it ran in MAME, but what it does prove is he didn't use original hardware, which is what it takes. So I thought it'd be interesting to kind of react to this video and a couple other news stories we got here. So you ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Let's turn you up a little bit, too. Let me make you a little louder. Not even fucking loud enough as it is, Mr. Italian.
I'm naturally. I don't need a microphone. You can hear me.
No, you don't. You just keep it going. Smash. Off subject. I just watched one of Willie's videos for the first time. You weren't lying when you said he was the best commentator. How is this guy not bigger? Because I'll tell you why Willie's not bigger. Same reason we suck, too. It's because he is a man of fucking principle, and he's a terrible suck-off. There you go. Willie, check out Willie.
Hello, you absolute legends. The Billy Mitchell vs. Twin Galaxies legal battle is the gift that just keeps on giving. And recently, things have taken an amazing turn. A few months ago, I released a video called The Dumbest Lawsuit in Video Game History, where I broke down the defamation lawsuit that Billy Mitchell had filed against Twin Galaxies for suggesting that his Donkey Kong World records were not achieved legitimately. This was just one of many lawsuits that Billy Mitchell has filed or threatened to file against other gaming organizations and YouTubers. Hell, he even hired a lawyer and threatened to sue me for briefly mentioning him in one of my videos. The vexatious nature of Billy Mitchell can't be overstated.
Well, he's really well spoken. Vexatious nature?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Australians, dude.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's a good question.
Vexatious.
That is a word I do not know.
I figured they would call him litigious. That would be kind of high English. That would be right, but
stated. And he has been using the legal system as a weapon for years. When I made my video covering his lawsuits, people were either afraid to talk to me or wanted to remain.
And by the way, I'm running into much the same problem. People that are could be of value, they're just fucking scared. I'll be honest with you. They're scared to talk about this. I mean, to me, it's an open and shut case. Shout out to Twin Galaxies for standing by and saying, no, you know what? This is illegitimate. In our book, it looks like, from what I think we all think that Guinness World Records is this big fucking crazy organization. I have a friend that his family works there. It's not that big. It's not that big. Ferris Bueller's Teachers, don't they want Billy Mitchell? Yeah.
I wonder where he went.
Yeah. So
I can't imagine that his reputation is still making him that much money, that he's going this far out of his way.
It almost like he must be getting funded or something, because it does seem like who's
like,
something.
Is he still getting royalties off the King of fucking Kong right now?
I don't think he got. That's a documentary. How many royalties would he? I guess
that's what I'm saying. Like, how is it worth it for him to be going through all of this at this point?
Here's another thing. I think Tipster pointed out South Pankington. Rakita Law did a great interview with Karl last week. Worth a watch. Oh God, they did tell me about it. I took the week off last week. That's the problem. Yeah, I would love to check this out. I'd love to check out next video. But yeah, like, where's he getting the money to do this? This is a lot of money we're talking about here. And it's, I'm sorry. I don't know what the lawsuit was like. I know I've been told that Apollo Legend.
That's a lot of
Apollo
money,
Legend's
I guess.
Career
for
looks
a
like it's
person
been
of color.
ruined. Shizzle Mizzle Gamer. Yeah, here you go. It looks like his career, but I haven't seen anything wrong with the evidence. It's beyond fucking clear that that game was not booted up with original hardware, and that is the rule for getting a Donkey Kong world record. But what this video is going to tell you, not only is Mitchell full of shit, not only is Mitchell, like, he hasn't done half the things you think. Because a lot of people are saying, okay, he might have cheated at Donkey Kong, but overall, over the years, this guy's really good. It's starting to look like he's good, but he's not elite good. He just was the only one of those losers that started making enough money where he could kind of buy off Twin Galaxies.
Completely anonymous in fear of his retaliation. Well, now it appears as though Mitchell is about to get a taste of his own medicine. Twin Galaxies has now responded with their own multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Mitchell, citing misrepresentation, fraud, and racketeering. Twin Galaxies has
Racketeering?
Listen, Billy,
Hold on a minute.
I'm Sammy over here. If you need some help, I can help you out. I got my new YouTube channel.
Racketeering. I got a few, Donkey Kong machines you might want to look at.
Racketeering? That's so fucking
Oh
funny.
my God.
Listen, you order some joysticks from me. Yeah, you're going to order from my guy. Got that?
I have come into
Absolutely
possession of a few buttons that may have fallen off the back of a truck.
Yeah, exactly, racketeering.
punches and are going after Mitchell's entire fake history. The allegations in this new lawsuit not only include illegal business practices, but also attacks every major claim Mitchell has made about his gaming accomplishments. Twin Galaxies allege that Mitchell was not the first person to do a perfect game of Pac-Man, that he did not receive the Video Game Player of the Century award from Namco, and that not only were his Donkey Kong scores fake, but he fraudulently used those fake achievements for personal financial gain. But that's not all. The lawsuit also alleges that Mitchell intentionally obscured legitimate gaming achievements from other players in order to increase his own.
Poor Steve Weeby.
Yeah, for real.
Poor Steve Weeby.
Imagine finding out that the guy whose shadow you've been living in for fucking 30 years is a cheater.
Well, it's only been 10. Because he started competitive, I want to say like in 2000. Like, I don't think more than 3 or 4 years before he actually.
Oh, okay. I figured he was around longer.
No, he wasn't around. He was only around. That was one of the reasons they went after him, because he wasn't connected. All of a sudden, this guy from Seattle starts getting like all these records. Yep. So they sent some jackasses over to his house and said, "Oh, there's a gummy substance on your board." Never saying what the gummy substance did to Twin Cruises. Yeah. So they really did screw that. You're looking at the man with the first million score right here. That wasn't Billy Mitchell. Subject Billy Mitchell,
right
age 55, absolute shambles.
Profits. People that are very familiar with.
Here's another thing. This son of a bitch right here. That's Captain Awesome. You know what I'm talking about? No. Nobody can find him. There's been no statements about him. He's made no public statements since I want to say 2015.
That's a lot of
nobody
money.
can find an obituary either,
because
because apparently he was in bad shape. But his website hasn't been touched in years. Nobody can get a hold of him. And when the Billy Mitchell cheating stuff came, because Captain Awesome in that video, he was the one that's saying that Billy's been cheating for years. He's crooked as a corkscrew. He was right. This guy right here, he was right about Billy.
So are we left to assume
I think
Billy whacked a motherfucker?
I don't know. He's racketeering. Yeah. Billy whacked him. No, because this guy would have jumped off. This is the guy with the Missile Command score that they took away from him. Sammy the Bull. Billy Mitchell's a friend of ours. And when the story broke in 28, he wasn't heard from, and most people think he's dead. It just never got reported. It's really
it has to be.
I think he's got to be gone, because he was in bad shape at last gaming event he went to.
Billy Mitchell's past have been calling him a fraud and a cheat for over 20 years, but until now they were just allegations thrown around without any substantial action behind them. And honestly, what could they do? Until 2014, Billy Mitchell was the joint owner of Twin Galaxies. It was exactly this power that allowed his disgraceful practices to go on unabated. However, this is no longer the case, and the new owner of Twin Galaxies, Jace Hall...
Jace Hall is the one that made that really weird World of Warcraft music video years ago. Do you recognize him?
No, I don't actually.
I do. You gotta see this. This is ridiculous. This is Jace Hall. He really loves Jace Hall. I play WoW. Have you ever seen this shit? And by the way,
I don't think I have.
Expansion opens tonight. You ever seen this shit? This is from 2010.
And it's on IGN's channel. Okay.
Yeah. Watch this. Watch this. I wonder if I can claim it.
Light. But Wednesdays through Fridays are strictly raid nights. When I'm down or depressed, I go connect. My real friends are online, fighting to the death. Mom's banging on my door, come eat your eggs and bacon. Mom, you're messing me up, you're like Leroy Jenkins. I give straight dedication, you
yeah, right.
call it crazy.
Okay.
You talking stuff, man,
This is a guy who owns Twins Galaxies.
I'm going 22 hours, who you calling lazy? I'm opponent noobs at PvP, and my level's past 80.
I'm sure it was fated to do great under this guy.
Well, actually, I'll give Jace this. He's standing up to these assholes.
Yeah.
And he did a third. Like they didn't when people found the evidence on Billy. He said he didn't say right away, okay, Billy, you're out. They did. I mean, a lot of people were complaining that Jace was trying to protect Billy. But then when there was nowhere else to turn, they did their own investigation and they just said, no, you not only this, or everything, you're out of here. And he stood by it, even though it was probably a tough thing to do because the guy was the face of the damn organization. I play WoW. That's Jace Hall. Here we go.
Is cleaning house. In this video, we will quickly cover the most egregious accusations in this recent lawsuit. There is a lot of juicy material to cover, and I really hope you enjoy. Now before we go on, Christmas is just around the corner and today's sponsor, Ridge, has got you covered. Now we all know that Ridge makes epic compact wallets.
Of course.
And if you haven't gotten one by now, what are you even doing with your life?
This guy might sue me, mate. Why don't you just buy pick up Yeah, right. Yeah, right. All right, let's go back to the thing. We could skip the commercial.
A very important thing I have to point out immediately is that in this new lawsuit, Mitchell isn't the only defendant. Twin Galaxies is also suing Walter Day, who was also the past owner of Twin Galaxies, along with Mitchell. I've briefly touched on Walter Day in my previous video, The Longest Con in Video Game History, but as of yet, I haven't really underscored how pivotal Day was in Twin Galaxies' corruption. According to the new Twin Galaxies, Walter Day had full knowledge of and was even complicit in creating and promoting Billy Mitchell's fake scores. Now, you can't just sue someone for faking video game scores, so we need to understand why this new lawsuit was filed specifically. Jace Hall is in a unique position to put forward this action as he purchased Twin Galaxies from Billy Mitchell and Walter Day in 2014. Given that the value of Twin Galaxies is directly impacted by the revelations of past fraud, this means that he alone has cause to seek damages from Mitchell and Day.
Alright, so let me explain that real quick. In other words, and they're going to explain why, all of Mitchell's accomplishment, or at least the ones that brought him the most fame, are utter horseshit, and you're going to find out why, all right? So therefore, Jace Hall purchased this, and he was under the impression that it had such and such value. Well, without Mitchell, and probably the reason he probably slowed down to get rid of him, it's not worth what the fuck he bought it for. So fraud is a legitimate situation here. Like, a lot of people who say, well, how could it be fraud? No, because you bought something and it wasn't what you bought. That's fraud. And it turns out that, like, literally none of the major accomplishments Mitchell made were legit. Like, none.
Not only that, but the lawsuit also makes allegations of illegal activity based on those past fraudulent claims. In a nutshell, the lawsuit asserts that Mitchell and Day used their power in Twin Galaxies to accept and promote video game scores that they knew were fake. They promoted those fake scores in order to personally profit, in the form of appearance fees, business partnerships, etc. They also promoted these knowingly fake scores in order to inflate the perceived value of Twin Galaxies so that
I have no knowledge of any of this. This is so bizarre. Walter Day.
They could sell it
Welcome to class. Bring yourself some.
Prospective buyers. The latest of such buyers being Jace Hall, who as far as he was concerned, was buying a legitimate high-score database. In fact, included in the purchase agreement was a stipulation that the score database did not contain...
So if they can prove that the former owners fluffed the fucking scores, which is especially what is it worth other than you're buying a database and the database is fraudulent. It's Leroy Jenkins. At least I have chicken.
It's like buying anything else. That's just false advertising.
It's not what it was. It's literally not what we thought it was.
Statements of fact. The actions of Mitchell and Day essentially amount to fraud. Twin Galaxies also alleges that Mitchell and Day used company funds for their own personal use and to pay off personal debts, which is a big no-no. So that's the context that gives cause.
I'll tell you, Walter Day, it's highly likely because Walter Day is in a fucking cult. And from what I understand, you're only as good as your last check in this particular cult that he's in. And if I had to bet, he was probably funneling money in here. It's been a long-standing rumor, I should say.
For the lawsuit to begin with, now let's look at the specific claims about Mitchell's gaming career. The lawsuit begins with the resurrection of Twin Galaxies in 1997. It states, beginning in 1997, Walter Day and Billy Mitchell conspired and agreed to commit fraud to restore old Twin Galaxies to prominence and increase the value of the business assets for potential future suitors. Plaintiff alleges that Walter Day and Billy Mitchell conspired to manufacture a persona for Billy Mitchell as the greatest video game player of all time. The problem was that Billy Mitchell lacked the requisite natural skill or ability. Throughout this entire ordeal, plenty of people have stated their belief that Billy Mitchell is a fantastic video game player, but the reality is that he really is not. Compared to the best players in any game, he falls far behind. If you look at his competition results, he always ranks very low, and has never been competitive at the top level. For a concrete example, we can look to the Kong-Off, a yearly Donkey Kong high score competition that began in 2011.
And I think Steve Wiebe won this one year, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right, too.
Yeah, there he is in second place right here. Yeah. Billy's in seventh in Flemington, New Jersey. I used to live there, Reggie Knuckles. Reggie Knuckles is a legend in Flemington. He had this like hardcore band, and he's like he went to the same arcade that I went to in Flemington Mall. And then he took my old video store, Showbiz Video, bought it, and then started having these really kind of high-end Twin Galaxies, things like the Kong-Off, over in this place near where I used to live. And he got Steve Wiebe there. Let's see, Hank Chen, who I think was the record holder at one fucking time, if I'm not mistaken, and Billy Mitchell.
Behind the leader, and remember,
and he also Reggie's in top 16 there. Like there used to be all these like sort of look like gang graffiti. It would say Knuckle Sandwich, and that was the band he was in. So it's kind of an East Coast hardcore thing.
Okay. He claimed to achieve the world record live in just 2010. In 2013, he placed dead last, and from that point on stopped competing entirely. People that claim that Billy Mitchell is a world-class gamer are usually clueless.
Now you could pass that off as, all right, he's in his 50s now. Yeah, he's older guy.
Out of practice, rusty, whatever.
Yeah, a lot of Weeby's a lot younger than him. I think he's pushing 50. I don't think he's quite 50 yet. It could your hand-eye coordination could be slipping.
About his competition performances and how he ranks against the other top players. People who saw him play live were already skeptical of his world records, long before the concrete evidence showed them to be fake. He was just never that good. We've all heard the claim that Billy Mitchell was the first person to attain a perfect score in Pac-Man. However, this is almost certainly not true. Over the years, a slew of evidence has been found suggesting otherwise, and many other Pac-Man players acknowledge other people as getting a perfect score first. The lawsuit states, to fabricate the lore of Billy Mitchell as a great video game player, Walter Day purged other people's scores in the Twin Galaxies score database when it was republished in 1997. Scores of Billy Mitchell that were not world records previously suddenly became world records. For example, Billy Mitchell was installed as the world record holder for the Donkey Kong Jr. video game, when in fact another player's score was removed by Walter Day upon republication. Similarly, Walter Day and Billy Mitchell rejected claims from other players, Bill Bastable being one, that they had achieved a perfect score on the Pac-Man video game, but accepted the claim of Billy Mitchell to recognize him as the first player to achieve such a perfect score.
And then we saw this in the movie.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we saw in the movie. They kept finding reasons to keep him off. You know, I was always told that the movie was a little exaggerated and the filmmakers didn't fucking they actually pitted Wiebe and Mitchell as like haters of each other, and that didn't know each other that well, which wasn't true. They would go out to dinner and stuff during this whole thing, but we did know that this was true, that they sent people over to this guy's house to come over and say, oh, he's got a gummy substance on the side of his board. So yeah, we saw this happen in real time in a movie. So that part was definitely true.
Do we know how much the Twin Galaxies database ended up selling for?
Has that ever been stated publicly? If it sold for $200,000, it was too much. I swear to God, it was fucking.
But that's what I'm saying. It cannot hold that much value to cause all this shit.
I wonder if it was a couple $1 million.
It had to have been.
Is it? Look that up if you can, Walt. See if you if you can find out what Jay Saul bought that shit for. Whatever. It shouldn't have been more than $20.
Yeah.
A fellow arcade high school competitor named Dwayne Richard made an entire documentary about how Bill Bastable was the first person to achieve a perfect Pac-Man, and not Billy Mitchell. This has been fairly well known for many years now. The lawsuit also talks about the
Todd Rogers the cheat
Video Game Player of the Century Award. This is the award that Mitchell claims was presented by Namco in September of 1990.
Okay, we all that Namco gave the award fucking Video Game Player of the Century. This is the fucking funniest part of this whole video.
And most of us have all seen the famous picture of Billy Mitchell with Masaya Nakamura.
And Billy's the most distinguished person in the book because he's the only person to have a full page that recognizes his status as the Video Game Player of the Century. He was crowned the Video Game Player of the Century at the Tokyo Game Show in 1999.
Where, in 1999, after having performed history's first perfect Pac-Man, on stage at the Tokyo Game Show in front of 70,000 people, Masaya Nakamura presented me the Video Game Player of the Century Award.
You mean to tell me in 1999 you got 70,000 nerds in one building? I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah, I think it's something like the 70,000 people. That does sound like a lot, right? Hold on a second.
Yeah.
But this is important. Listen to this.
Player of the Century Award was given to Mitchell by Walter Day in August of 1999, a month before the Namco event. Walter Day and Billy Mitchell then flew to Japan and asked Namco for the photo op, saying it would be good for publicity. That plaque being given to Mitchell was just congratulating him on his perfect Pac-Man score and advertising the upcoming release of the 20th anniversary version of Pac-Man for the PlayStation. Namco never gave him any awards and certainly never said he was the Video Game Player of the Century.
That's fraud.
Yep.
That's fraud.
But like I said, it really boils down to how much money it hangs in the balance.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, it had to be a couple $100K, if not $1 million.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, because if I'm gonna fraud you out of $50, like you're not gonna sue me for the $50.
No, but here's the thing too. I think a lot of this lawsuit from Twin Galaxies is to kind of get maybe even drain his bank account. So I mean, Jace must have some money or some backers or something like this for this lawsuit because this is the only way. Now, I had heard that a lot of the people that do this score stuff were trying to get rid of the fucking old guys because they were crooked. And that Jace Hall kind of represented this kind of new wave, but they kept their hands off of Mitchell, right? What really happened is Jace Hall, you could contest scores, especially ones that weren't done in public. So once this system, which worked, started outing some of their superstars, so to speak, that's when it became an old versus young. So it's basically the guys that are my age going up against the guys that, like, guys that are born in the 70s are going up against the guys that are born in the 50s and 60s. Yeah. And they're trying to take this back because it would be nice to have an organization that kept this that wasn't fucking corrupt. But clearly, I mean, I heard of Twin Galaxies when I was a kid, and I heard about Billy Mitchell in 1999 getting the score. And
the first time I ever heard about this whole thing was when the documentary came out.
See, I'm familiar with it because I remember the Twin Galaxies tried to mess around with Nintendo's like United States gaming team or some shit like that. Unbelted Deer is a real fuckhead. Thanks so much, and remember, thank you so much. So you know, this is what it really comes down to. This is fucking fraud. This is now it's serious. Yeah. Paul, did you find anything?
No, I wasn't able to find anything.
It was probably never publicly stated anywhere.
Yeah.
I'd love to know how much he paid.
The
Yeah, me
entire
too.
story
Love
is
this.
completely fabricated.
Can't.
What's that?
I'm saying I literally can't find anything. It's probably undisclosed.
I looked for it
something.
before too. I figured you knew something I didn't, but I guess not. I haven't found anything either.
The lawsuit asserts this in no uncertain terms. In 1999, Billy Mitchell and Walter Day worked to suppress earlier Perfect Pac-Man scores of other players, and altered the competitive rules to allow for Billy Mitchell to be crowned by old Twin Galaxies as the first person to achieve a Perfect Pac-Man score when in fact he was not. To further their deception, Billy Mitchell and Walter Day created an award with the title of Video Game Player of the Century specifically for Billy Mitchell, and successfully developed the false narrative that Namco, the creator of the Pac-Man game, had directly given or endorsed Billy Mitchell with that title. The lawsuit then moves on to the infamous Donkey Kong scores, and also the deception contained in the documentary The King of Kong.
Walter Day, we already know I'll look good in prison stripes. Well, this is not a criminal lawsuit, but
Now, I've said before that
Walter's gotta be said. He's about my dad's age. He's 72 years old.
The King of Kong is an awesome documentary, and it still is, if you completely disregard the fact that it lies about the world record progression of the game. The King of Kong is framed around the competition between Billy Mitchell and Steve Wiebe, and the movie claims that Mitchell had held the record since 1982, but this is not the case. The reality is that Mitchell's score was beaten in 2000 by Tim Serby, with a score of 879,000. This would remain.
So he wasn't even the real champ at the time in the movies. The movie did their thing too. So no, I don't think that was any deception by Walter Day. I think that was. I mean, Tim Serby was the world champion at the time of the film. I think that was the filmmaker's idea to make this a Billy hates Steve and Steve hates Billy, which wasn't true. And I knew it wasn't true. I used to.
They wanted to give their movie a storyline. I definitely.
Yeah, that's all that really was. I don't think that was the deception, other than the normal deception that you would get from, a documentary, because they're
any based on a true story
reality
movie.
Show or some kind of horse shit like that.
Yeah.
So I don't think that has anything to do with it, unless they can find out that Walter Day did that, because he was legitimate champion at that time. And I know that Billy and Steve didn't hate each other, because I used to listen to a show called Retro Gaming Radio, and they were interviewed at the time, months before the fucking movie came out, and they seemed quite jovial and friendly, and were open to interviews. And this at a time where they were filming the documentary. I remember they were listening to the show, like, yeah, and they're filming the documentary too. I'm like, oh, that's great, Billy. That's great, Steve. Nice to meet you. Good luck to you both. And that was at the time they were filming all this shit. So at the time, when you see that Steve's all upset and crying, he's not crying. He's not mad at Billy. He's mad at fucking Twin Galaxies.
Yeah.
But little did he know.
Oh, it was way worse than what.
That Billy did have his hands all over this.
The record until 2002, when it was toppled by Steve Wiebe. From 2002 to 2003, Wiebe would continue to improve his scores, eventually breaking 1 million points. However, all of his scores during this period were disqualified from Twin Galaxies for one reason or another. It was touched on in the King of Kong film, but Twin Galaxies had a long history of changing rules on a whim in order to disqualify records so that its marketable players were still on top. Again, the lies spread in the King of Kong were purely to inflate the value of Twin Galaxies and to allow Mitchell to personally profit.
Billy Mitchell was the only one who's marketable?
States
that
clearly.
You're going to bend over backwards for this guy.
Because both Walter Day and Billy Mitchell own stake in that company, in that organization. So therefore, that was the case. And he does say, Walter Day says it clear as day. It's not important because, a lot of people beat records, but Billy Mitchell broke this record. So that's why it's important. And it's you know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like Billy Mitchell is just one of these guys that bought into his own sort of e-fame, like hard, and actually became the fucking sort of heel villain that he was probably initially just trying to do some self-promotion crap. I mean, like they probably said, it's fucking video games. Who's going to care? But since 1999, with the esports and cheating scandals and all the stuff that we have, and young people who actually understand fucking how things work from the esports realm moving into Twin Galaxies, as games from 10 and 15 years ago become retro games, which becomes Twin Galaxies. And I imagine the young guys went in there and said, you guys are fucking crooks. And we know this because we come from Quake. which is now a dead game. We come from all these other games that used to be Big Egg Sports, and we know.
God, Quake is a retro game now. Stop making me feel old, Tommy.
Yeah, well, don't look. You're a contemporary with what? Fucking GameCube. I'm a contemporary with fucking Dig Dug, so don't feel too bad. I'm much older than you. So that's really it. So I guess just to say this, and I wanted to put some commentary over. If you finish a video, if you could tweet out this video, it'd be great. Walt. This is Karl Jobst. I definitely want to check out the other stuff. Billy Mitchell, in my opinion, I think, is cheap. I think he did exactly what he's accused of here. Not sure about the racketeering. Have to ask Sammy the Bull. Yeah. But I'm sorry. I know enough about MAME. I know enough about what it would look like, how like they have never, and most of Billy's. You
don't even need to be some super expert. You just open
you
MAME.
really don't. Like, I'm sitting there saying I know about this stuff because I'm into MAME and I fucking got coin ops and I've set up my own arcades and shit like that.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm kind of like low end. I'm on like retro Ralph. I'm not as smart as him in this whole shit. But I even think the people in that Arcade 1-Up community are kind of afraid to say this guy's a fucking cheat. There is this kind of fear. And I believe, and I have every right to say in the world that I think this guy's a cheat, and I think this evidence supports my opinion. And I think what happened to Apollo Legend is a kid got mixed up, got in over his head on something, and he had to fucking tap out. Now, to make this all fucking topsy-turvy, I have been given sourced information that Billy has some kind of evidence to support his case. I have not been made privy to it, but I've been told that he has something.
All right, so if that's the case, I understand, lawsuits and everything. But if that's the case, making it public clears his fucking name.
I don't know. That's the problem. And I think what I'm hearing, I don't necessarily believe it. I don't think the person's lying to me. I think people are so scared of Billy Mitchell. They have people lying to me. And that's why.
Why are you scared of Billy Mitchell?
Yes. Well, he's suing people. Apollo Legend.
Yeah, he is suing people.
Now he's got a head on that pike. He didn't have one before. He sued fucking After Night TV. But yeah, and I'm being told that he has something. Everything he's done in public is I have witness testimony. Well, I have my own witness testimony. I saw how the game fucking booted up. But I'm being told that the reason fucking that potentially people are bowing down is because he has something, and yet none of it's been made public. And it's interesting he didn't follow through on the lawsuit here in Australia.
But you'd think if he had something, he would already use it publicly. Because then these lawsuits wouldn't pop up.
Then why am I'm getting good source information from good people?
Unless the lawsuits are like his main form of income.
I'm wondering if he's intimidated my sources. I'm not even joking. Like directly intimidated my sources.
How does a guy who's famous for playing Donkey Kong become the internet godfather?
I have no fucking
What the fuck?
Maybe it is racketeering. Maybe Jace is onto something. Fuck.
For real.
All right, let's.
The fact that everybody's shitting themselves.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to
I got the estimated price that Jay might have paid.
Let's hear it,
Jay.
What do you got?
It's like 70,000.
70,000.
Yeah.
All right.
The lawyer's gonna get all of that shit.
Yeah. That's that. First of all, that's too much.
You walk away from $10,000. You're lucky if you win.
Too much to pay for it, but definitely enough to sue for it.
That's probably why they sued as much. You know what that tells me? Jason Hall's lawsuit is trying to get him to fucking knock this shit off, Billy. We're not fucking putting your score in there. Yeah. But Billy, it's more of a countersuit, more than likely. This is my friend Jewish Sharing. Let's watch his new video. Long day from being a skater. Drew comes home. What's that? Waiting for him? Drew Swift? Hold on a second. Drew Sif. And he smiles.
Can't see the screen, by the way.
Oh, I didn't put it on the screen? Fuck, I forgot. Hold on a second. I forgot. Let's Drew.
There you go.
I'm still November.
I was 420.
Only 420 packets available. He should make more of those videos. Drew is sharing everybody. Real good guy. Goes if you like smoking weed. He's. I tell you what, Real Talk had issues hanging there with him.
Yeah, Real Talk.
Yeah, Real Talk. Real Talk says the guy can smoke. That means the guy can smoke. Scrubby 2420. Can't wait to smoke with that shit. No, it's good stuff. Boogie made I don't know why he does these things. Seriously though, Belle Delphine getting banned from YouTube is understandable. Understandable.
All right, well,
However,
here's the thing. I heard she got banned, but I also heard it was a copyright strike. Was it not?
No, well, it says nudity. She broke nudity right on the page. It says nudity.
Okay, see, I didn't see.
Outrageous, because like rap video, that's it.
Yeah,
like, there's nothing going on in her videos that crossed into pornography or anything outside you hadn't seen in a rap video. In fact, most of the shit she did, from what I can see, was ripped off from rap videos. You know.
Well, then I got to call bullshit. Like I didn't see it. So
however, the fact is that like videos like WAP are still allowed to stand is not. YouTube continues to show favoritism corporation creators and examples.
I mean, that's a fact.
I have to agree that I do not agree with them banning word. I hope they reverse it. I'm just saying that it's I understand why they would do it in the first place.
No, yeah,
So basically, you would understand. You're justifying their hypocrisy. You realize that. Whether he's like, I don't think they should do it, but I understand why they did it. That means hypocrisy is okay in this situation, Boogie. That's pretty much what you're saying.
I had this conversation with somebody the other day about how YouTube always sides with the corporations and the actual mainstream famous people. The reason that happens is because those of us who spend a majority of our time on YouTube and watching all kinds of stuff, we become jaded from what we watch. We don't understand that the normies don't look at YouTube the way we look at YouTube. They watch the famous mainstream people. So that's where YouTube's money is.
Yeah, I get that, but I got to be honest with you. And I like Boogie and everything. I get pissed off when a fucking internet icon fucking starts, licking fucking their corporation's ass, or just like this fence-sitting nonsense. And Lenny's got a blue check mark here, and he's lending them credibility. I'm just saying that I understand why they would do it in the first place. If they go to a direction they want to go. Why do you say that?
Yeah, I don't
like they want to go. And they better do it to corporations as well. So well,
first of all, that's not going to happen. But the main thing is you disagree with yourself. The sentence after you said it.
I know. It's like I guess it's more goes not so much just like, Boogie's got a hot take like this a month. Yeah, it's just. I understand why they did it. I don't agree with it, but I understand. It's completely understandable.
You know what I never understood about Boogie's hot takes, though?
Yeah.
Like, he says things like this. He'll put tweets out or whatever, and then 3 days later, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed by all this internet hate. Why do people keep tweeting at me? Because you open your mouth. Listen, I don't care what you say. I think you should say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
But when you open your mouth and then get mad that people are talking back to you, like, dude, that's the name of the game.
Here's a blast from the past. In honor of Biscuit Basher, let's talk about the biggest basher, the most famous basher. A statement from Claire Baby Legs. In
one day I'll take that title.
You're going to be the bigger of the two bashers. I hope so, for better reasons. Statement from Clary referenced to banter. I was 17 then. I started dating and having a sexual relationship with my ex, who was 28 at the time. When we were in early 2014, I traveled across straight lines with him multiple times. In 2014, before I turned 18, I was still underage when I started appearing in YouTube videos with my ex and multiple other YouTubers. I went to multiple conventions to vet with my ex while I was 17. I can't tell you how broken I am from that time. And if I had been older or more experienced, it never would have happened. I felt as though I was taken advantage of over and over, and I've taken the time to defend myself. I've taken time to defend myself. It's my own personal nightmare that I hate reliving and rehashing it. But I was a child when I started. 17's not a child.
No.
This might be illegal, but here's the thing. I get like, all right, forget the legal fucking argument. It's just like the I give a fuck argument. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I like he may have done something illegal. Yeah, and I think this is what I think people are getting sick of this shit with eating pussy. I was a child at the time. No, you weren't.
Sick of this for years.
You're a fucking teenager, and there's tons of sex going on in high school. At least there was. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous.
It's been a while since either of us have been back there, but
I'm sorry. He might be he's a creep for a lot of other reasons, Basher. But I just forget what he did. What he did before this was what way fucked up. And Basher's all types of fucked up, and he's a fucking sex deviant and all that other stuff. But I am sick and tired of girls or guys in their late teens acting like they're fucking 4-year-olds that got molested by their fucking uncle when their parents weren't home. That's not what happened here.
Yep.
That's
I've been
not
saying
what
this for
happened.
fucking
And what
years
is
now.
17? How old she fucking out? 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, fucking 6 years? I bet we're getting close to statute of limitations.
Yeah.
On anything.
And here's the thing with like late teens, like 17, 18. In some states, at least in America, 16 is the legal age.
But the federal age, but here's another thing. The federal age is always 18. No matter what state you're in. So they can nail you on that. Here's another fucking dirty secret, my English friends. Nobody is prosecuted in the States. Only under the rarest situation if a 19-year-old sleeps with a fucking 16, 17-year-old girl. Most people say it's fucking creepy, and if the cops usually don't get fucking involved. If they do get involved, usually the girl's parents have money.
Yeah.
That's what usually, or a pregnancy. Pregnancy usually gets you. In fact, that's pretty much the only thing that can put you behind bars for it. Because no prosecutor wants to take the time because you know what? Teens, why they don't legally have the right to consent, they do consent to sex all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did.
But yeah, I feel like these stories are always used just to,
I'm sick of these fucking things.
Play the violin, everybody look at me.
Oh my God, I was 17, I was fucking 28-year-old guy. Man,
my most hated thing is he groomed me.
Yeah,
I fucking hate that sentence.
I don't know too many girls that weren't seniors in high school that weren't fucking guys in college.
Yep.
When I was there. I don't know, like what the fuck? So I'm sorry. Once you get to 16, 17, you can't pull the kid card. Give me a fucking break.
Fuck that.
Where are your parents? I blame your parents more than fucking Basher.
Yeah, what the fuck were your parents doing?
Let's see. What was
I'm traveling across state lines to have sex with somebody who's way older, older than me.
It hopes to become a fucking professional whore. Congratulations. Yeah. I'm sick of this shit. I can't tell you how broken I am at the time. And everybody's like, oh, Pirate Cynical. I can hear the chat fucking right now. Look, I think his fucking complaint was stupid too. The only issue I had about it is how his fan base tried to pretend like it didn't happen. It happened. It did. It happened. He was talking to that kid that way. I don't think it's a big fucking deal, though, and I don't think this is a fucking big deal either. Fucking Basher's a creep. God, the last girl, at least she was older than the last girl he victimized. I felt so taken advantage of over and over again. I've never taken the time to defend my mom, the personal, blah, blah, blah. But when I was a child then and I started, by the time I was adult, I was too broken and afraid to do anything about it. I wish I could get a break for not knowing what to do when I was barely 18. Insanity is the internet puts an eye on me. I wish I had been an adult enough in this situation, but I wasn't. Yeah, your parents dropped the fucking ball. That's what it sounds like to me.
I didn't know better, and I was terrified. You mean to tell me at 17 years
if she
old,
was fucking 12?
Yeah. She's typing the stories that she was fucking 7. Like at 17 years old, you can't say maybe I shouldn't travel multiple states.
Razor's fucking edge of consent.
Yeah,
I'm sick of stories like this. I didn't know, and I think it's hurting fucking real victims. This is like the new fucking false rape allegation.
It really is.
Like technically, it's fucking illegal, but it's never prosecuted. So let's pretend it's pedophilia.
This shit you're reading right now is why I never believe any of the fucking hashtag MeToos that come out. This right here, because of all this.
Yeah, well, another thing is the way pedophilia is pre-pubescent.
Yeah,
that's it. It's pre-pubescent, and those people, I don't even care if they're strung up or lynched. But the shit that we say pedophilia is on this platform and how it's thrown around so fucking loosely.
Yeah.
I have a feeling people are getting fucking away with it left and right because it's just like the fucking N-word. Nobody gives a fuck about it. Nobody cares about racism, transphobia, or anything like that because it's just used as a weapon. And so's this shit. 7 fucking.
Oh yeah.
Give me a break. Now this letter should be to her fucking parents. Why did they call the cops and say, "Turn my 17-year-old girl back to me"? Then you probably could have him arrested.
What the fuck were they doing in the first place? All right, look. When I was 17, and all right, I'm a guy, but even then, when I was 17, if I walked up to my mother and I said I'm going to fucking Kansas, she would have been like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" She would have punched me in the face.
If I wanted to go to Kansas or run around in the fire, I would have just left and wouldn't have told anybody, which is probably what she did. I was barely 18 and saying blah, blah, blah. Enough of all. I didn't know any better. I was terrified. I don't buy that. I wish that I had people who were in my corner because they didn't. Yeah, that's probably the only legitimate thing you have to say here. Nobody was in your corner, in fairness.
Yep.
People still shit on me for something I should be considered a victim for and not a monster.
Why does everybody love the word victim, man? Look at me, I was victimized.
I think the problem is I think you're a victim in the legal sense. I don't think you're an actual victim.
Yeah.
You know, women's agency starts somewhere between 18 and death.
Apparently, in today's world, women never have agency.
I know.
I mean, open any fucking news website. There's some woman somewhere.
So, like my ex-wife, and I'm sure if I got divorced again, the same thing happened because I watched my mother do it to my father. Right? I'm a strong woman. I'm in charge. Nobody fucking fools me. They're in the courtroom.
Yep.
I didn't know what was happening.
Yep. I had no idea what was going on.
I thought he was a good person.
Yep.
He yelled at me. He raised his voice. Fucking Christ. Jeez, I faced 3 years of what I felt emotional abuse and stress for the situation I was in. I feel like I was taken advantage of until the very end. You left him, from what I understand. And you stuck around when here's the thing, Keem made fucking Basher marketable. And you stuck around through the whole fucking thing. And not only that, you got a TV show out of it, if I remember correctly. I feel though I was taken advantage of at the very end. I still can't catch a break for a decision that I made as a child. There's probably some truth in that. There's probably some truth in that. Yeah,
everybody regrets.
She may be a victim in the sense that she made a horrible decision before she was able to make it. I get that. She may be a victim because nobody was in her corner. I fucking get that. Somebody fucking dropped the ball over there. Or you were so out of control as a teenager that fucking when you left, there's like, I can't fucking pull her away from Basher. I'll pull her back and she'll be even crazier and disturb my fucking house.
Yep.
Maybe that's why Mom and Dad dropped out, because you were out of fucking control. I'm sorry. I don't buy this fucking, hooker with the heart of gold fucking thing. I'm like, I don't know. Oh, God. Oh, give me a break.
Also, am I the only one getting I'm a travel around with this guy, and so that maybe I'll get famous down the line?
What the fuck is going to happen? You might have to blow him along the way. Oh, that's what you did.
And then now that you have a name, I'm going to sink this fucking guy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Basher's innocent.
Somebody probably got in her fucking head and told her that everything was wrong. You know why you're doing porn? It's because of Basher.
Yeah.
It's not because you're fucked up and completely out of control and I feel I was taking advantage at the very end. I can't catch a break for the decision I made as a child. Nobody forced her to go into pornography. And I didn't have the financial ability to remove myself from this until years after it started.
Bro, that's such a you're in a bad situation.
Fuck it.
That's legitimately threatening to your existence. You get out.
I'm sorry. If you want
I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's an enjoyable process.
I'm not even saying she's not a victim at some level, but I'm just sick of hearing this shit.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
You know what? It's like here's another thing too. That's one of the reasons parents are always in teenagers' ass, because you could do something that could affect yourself in the adult life. So when a teenager does something, infects them in their adult life, it's like, oh my God, I was only a fucking kid that like nothing bad should happen to you because of the decisions you made when you're a teenager. And I tell you something, now that I think about it, some of the decisions that I made, like not doing, or rather the decisions I neglected to make when I was a teenager, probably kept me going from a decent college and going to 13th grade like all the other fucking townies from Woodbridge. You know, I mean, that those were that affected my adult life. And they were serious, you know, looking back, they were serious fucking decisions. Yeah, they were. And I was like, fuck it, I'm a sophomore. Stop, fuck it, I'm a freshman. I'll worry about it. I'll just get a regular job like everybody else. Next thing I know, I'm in Iraq. You know? It's like, but I don't remember blaming anybody but my fucking self. There are decisions you make as a teenager that are going to affect the rest of your fucking life. I know a guy in high school, he got in a fucking fight, kid hit his head in a rock, and he went in a coma. That affected his adult life. You know how old he was? 16. Affected him right into his adult life. By the way, the kid's dead. Died like 10 years later, but he's dead. I don't know what happened. I heard he died. I don't know if he got hit with a murder charge, because you get hit with a murder charge 10 years after the fact.
Yep. I think there's a severe lack of personal responsibility in American culture.
That's what this is to me, personal responsibility. She wants to say, because I was a fucking 17 at the time and I wasn't old enough to consent. And it's like, did your mom and dad say, yeah, go off with that guy. It's a good idea. Something tells me no. The reason you couldn't go back and had to go in port, you can't go back home. Why? Were you probably a destructive mess?
Yep.
So I'm sorry. Were you a victim? Yeah. Just not that much of one. Not one where I give a fuck. I'm just tired of it.
Exactly.
Phone calls. Take them. Simp Man. You're on the air.
Hey, how's it going there, man?
It's going super.
Yeah, well, I'm taking it that you're enjoying all the parenting skills of 2020.
Parenting? So why do you say that?
Lack thereof, more like it.
The paper from, was that Baby Legs?
Yeah, Baby Legs. It should have been directed at mom and dad, if you ask me. But something tells me you can't. She's probably out of control, so she probably couldn't blame them.
Yeah, like, you know, she snuck off secretly from like her family.
Yeah, I know. Like that whole part. Like
that's what we were saying. That's what I was saying. It's like if I told my mother I'm going a million states over at 17.
What are you gonna do? You not graduate high school? Let me guess. I bet she doesn't have a GED.
Yep.
Yeah, and like, didn't she also choose to go into the porn industry? Like, they offered her a lot of fucking money.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So this is all her decision.
I'm sorry, I'm not buying any of this fucking horse shit. By the way, I'm not letting Basher off the hook. Fuck him. Fuck that guy.
Oh no.
He's fucked out of his mind. The only reason Keem did stories on him is because he felt bad for him with the TV thing. I think Gamer from Mars did the best video on Basher. He was every bit the fucking creep Keem initially said he was. The problem is Keem didn't have all the evidence in when he said it. So
that's right, yeah. When was that? That was like 2015
15, correct. That was probably the, I think Keem says to this day, that's just the biggest fucking story. That was an amazing, he just never died. There was always something going on, and fucking Brendan was always doing something to make himself look even stupider to keep this guy, because Brendan was a no talent. An absolute no talent. Yeah.
What do people do to watch him? They just watch the cringe factor. That was it.
They
didn't watch it for entertainment.
Pretty much. All right, man. I'm going to take another call. Talk to you later.
Thanks.
Peace. Bye. My favorite Belarusian, Obama, Raw, you're on the air.
Okay, I'm going to have to say the truth.
Say the truth.
I read the news and learned that it's the Italians that caused the coronavirus.
Yeah, I saw that myself.
Chinese news sources say it's the Italians.
Well, it's clearly because Italians are whites, so it must have been their fault. Can't blame the yellow man.
I wouldn't say the.
Listen, we've been trying to take over the world since the dawn of time. Do you not remember the Roman Empire? This is just our newest plan.
Worked. In typical Italian form, you got the worst cases in the entire fucking.
We fucked it up. It blew up in our faces. I'm not gonna lie.
Go ahead. What else? Yeah, is that what you got? Yeah, I heard it too. Anything not to blame China. Another thing is China's fucking. We got Beijing fucking Biden over here. You know, is it any surprise to you? They find a fucking bunch of fucking pornography with his son, and including with that shit, he's talking about doing deals with China. Nobody cares. And after going
I
through
don't understand how.
after going through 4 goddamn years of Trump's is in with the Russian and not a shred of evidence to back it up.
Because they believed it from the beginning. Those are the people who believed it.
I guess so. And I guess it's easier to say you still believe it than say, you know what, I'm a fucking moron.
The Trump thing had no evidence, right?
Nothing.
The Biden thing is
it actually has evidence. Everybody talking. The porn is actually the distraction. Well, I saw Matt Jarrett. Joe Biden's son's not running for office. Yeah, but the fucking information in there has his father's name all over it.
Yep.
And you were sitting there calling Trump a traitor fucking a couple months ago, saying there was something to this impeachment. Get the fuck out of here.
And when I question election results, I'm crazy. But when you do it for 4 years,
yeah, I know. Everybody, all the Trump guys are crazy for trying to 4 years straight trying to kick the guy out of office. What do you want, Obama? Anything else?
Ridiculous.
Obama?
Yeah, I'm going to ask a simple. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so at what point do we say to a female that you're not a victim, you're a whore? And at what point do we say to the parent, where are the parents?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Usually at 18, they could be a whore.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you my NCO told me. Do what your rank can handle. Get the fuck out of here, Obama.
Look, you're never going to win the argument saying that the kid was a whore.
No,
there's any
you're really not.
History where you go, that 15-year-old girl, what a whore!
Filthy whore!
God, I can't believe she was so easy. Never gonna happen.
No, it's probably not right. You only give you a big, and he said, "Oh, you have to be a huge shit pile like me to even be able to get away with it." Yeah, like nobody gives a fuck what I say, so it doesn't really matter. But I will ask you this, Nick. I understand the optics of the whole thing. You are responsible, and you can make decisions at those high school years that can affect you the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the case what happened here. But you're right. In the optics point of view, she was a whore. No, that's not
Can we introduce a hypothetical situation?
Sure, go ahead.
I know I've brought this up before. I think Willie Mack coined this exact argument. But could you imagine that every single, hypothetically, every single person Keemstar accused of pedophilia, it just came out 5 years later? Like, dude, like 5 years from now, it drops on the old man. Like the old man is like just like Keemstar doesn't vet his own drama sometimes, but like life vets it for him. Could you imagine that everything he's ever done?
I love this shit, because we used to make that crack. We used to go files on top of files. That was like a big newsroom. Get files. I had files on top of files, and then the pyrocynical thinks like he just tweets, "I told you." Don't tell me if you couldn't have proved it back in 2016, you wouldn't have dropped that shit.
I think Basher is like a grimy, fucking sleazy piece of shit.
Same here.
I don't know what to think about this one, but that was my knowledge like 24 hours ago. I'm going
to stick up for Keem on this. I was with Keem. Here's what happened. When all the cards fell, when Leafy made the video, when Grade made the video, when the initial videos, and he was the most hated guy on the internet, and he was being canceled. Right? We haven't even coined the term yet. When Basher came out, he was really hurt by that. He could not fucking believe. Because if you remember, during the 2016 controversy, Basher he tried to put a fundraiser up for a lawsuit against Keem. Like, it's one thing to say that it would have never won in a million years. Keem's initial report was probably irresponsible on Basher, but he did everything he could to make up for it. And the only reason Basher was famous in 2015 and 16 was because the Keemstar kept promoting the fucking story. As soon as the story lost its legs, what a shock. Clara out the fucking door. And guess what? Your career's over. And then he disappeared until I think like a year and a half ago. Or early 2000, early 2020 he came back. I remember I ran a story just before the pandemic broke out. So yeah, it's a bunch of fucking horse shit. Keem didn't do anything to him. He corrected it, and the only reason he was popular because he was a train wreck, and he had this like kind of cute girlfriend with a hot body who was taking her fucking clothes off 9 times out of 10. You know. She cheated him out of a fucking. I remember she got that was great. You know, at least I got to fuck her in the ass. That was one of the greatest drama alerts of all time. I don't care if they re-recorded it. That was one of the greatest shit to keep starting with.
Didn't it come out that was said prior? And
yes, and they didn't tape it, so they played it. It still was good, and it was still awesome. He did. Yeah, he told me that. Boss.
Wait, it didn't ruin it for you when you found out that it was staged?
I laughed so fucking hard when I first saw that, and the face he makes at the camera with the popcorn. Entertaining as hell.
I'll give it to you.
But actually, Keem told me personally, he's like, "Well, he's like, it happened," but we're like, "Oh fuck, we thought we were recording."
That's a lot of money. I guess,
you know why it works? I'll tell you why it works the second time. Because Basher's delivery was personal. At least I got the fucker in the ass.
You usually see those situations and you go, well, fuck, dude. These YouTubers, they're just not that good of actors. I didn't know that time. That was really good acting.
Yeah, no, he got me. He got me. The very sweet Diva. Diva, we going to be streaming soon? I think we got to bring the band back together. The Warzone band back together this weekend. What do you think, Diva?
No, I'm going through the gigs right now. I won't be able to perform well. I sent you a DM. I wouldn't be able to perform
no.
Well. Well, at least we have the Tipster Live reunion right now in the
yeah, right?
Well, me and Biscuit, we hang out all the time. Like we just did a big stream on Friday.
Well, I want to stream again. I want to do I thought I had a lot of fun when we did that stream. I was going to take so you can't do it.
No. I wrote you a very detailed response of, I'm just going through the gigs right now. Hopefully I'll be better. The gigs.
Whenever you're better, you got to play Cold War.
What are gigs?
Oh,
you got your period?
The gig. Oh God, I keep on forgetting. You don't know gay lingo. I'm having depression problems, Tommy.
Oh, come on. Let's do it.
Oh God, the women are having problems.
Really?
Fuck. Can I
Sure.
do my com real quick?
Sure. Go ahead.
Because I'm working. I gotta pay bills. Anyways, the Belle Delphine thing, because I
Can you see my camera? I'm gonna cheer you up right now. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Open up my camera.
What the fuck is that?
Right.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
I'm looking at the camera. It's the delay is real.
Look at my camera.
Fast forward. I have to fast forward, hun.
That's Charlie.
Okay, now I can see.
No. Look. Yeah, in here on Discord. Can you do that?
Oh, on Discord.
On Discord.
Let me see. I'm watching this stream. Doing? Is it your penis?
No, it's
not.
Oh
my God.
That's Charlie with two giant dicks. Now is your depression fucking gone?
I'm just traumatized.
Is your depression gone?
Now she's depressed and emotionally disturbed.
Tommy, you gotta put it on screen. The chat doesn't know what's going on.
I'm not putting it on screen. I'm not putting. You know what? Some of this is radio. It's use your imagination.
Oh dear God!
You can probably figure out what we're looking at.
There's not that giant dicks.
Jesus.
Go to criticals.
Tommy just unsheathed his cock like a sword, dude.
I'm gonna need therapy after today, okay?
No small dick energy over here. But no, so the Belle thing. I missed yesterday's show, and I saw you comment on it a little bit today.
Yeah.
So this is my 2 cents about the Belle thing. Do I think she should be deplatformed? No, it's fucked up. It's wrong.
Okay.
Let me make that abundantly clear.
Okay.
It's fucked up. It's wrong. But I think what Boogie's trying to say, and he sucks at tweeting, and he's publicly admitted that he sucks at tweeting.
Okay.
What he's trying to say, but isn't saying it, is that using WAP in hip-hop music videos as an example is not accurate because YouTube has their own deals with those companies.
Well, that's kind of the whole point. No, but that's kind of the whole point. There's there's nothing in the TOS saying
because YouTube makes a lot of money off of music videos.
That's what I said before.
But I mean, technically, YouTube makes a lot of,
Yeah, that whole WAP thing was set up because basically, this is again in my head. I do know people in the industry, but they didn't confirm this. But I'm assuming this all happened. What happened was with Cardi B and WAP, Atlantic went to them and said, "Hey, Cardi B is going to do doing a Q&A. So this is what we can do. We can do the Q&A on your platform, or she's going to take that shit to Instagram Live and Facebook gets the money. What do you want to do?" So YouTube's like, "No, bring that shit over here." And so they made a deal, and then they got trending.
Yeah, but I mean, there's nothing look, YouTube also says the rules are for everybody. And I mean, you're admitting it's not being. And here lies the other problem with somebody like Boogie. I got to disagree with you totally on this. So there's going to be nobody can. You got to be licensed to do edgy. That's what you're talking about here, because only people can do edgy sexual humor or maybe even jokes are fucking if you're a loser like me and doesn't have a couple 100,000 subs or a bigger audience, or if you're fucking mainstream. So I mean, you can't do anything edgy, anything sexual, unless you have a license or you're signed to a deal.
And that's YouTube's fault. And I agree with you. Like, I'm not saying what YouTube is doing is right. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that. What I do feel that would help things with YouTube, because YouTube keeps on pushing this bullshit that they give a fuck about us and all that nonsense. But like in my mind, I think what would solve a lot of issues and a lot of confusions if YouTube just straight up said, look, this is what it is. These rules that we have, it applies to 70% or 85% of the platform. 85% of y'all have to follow these rules. But please understand, and don't get us fucked up, the other percentage, they have their own rules because we have our own contracts with them.
Yeah, see, they wouldn't say that publicly because that would cost them users.
See, I don't think. I don't see why this is. I don't see why. It just sounds like accepting hypocrisy to me, Diva. We're just going to accept this hypocrisy. It's completely understandable. Yeah, if you're okay with snakes, I mean, it's ridiculous. They're just going to.
It's bullshit. But what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, bitch about it. Bitch about it. Talk about it. Bitch about it. Point it out. Put them on blast.
Like, I'm fine with bitching about it.
Dude, I'll end this right now. I can end this whole discussion because you're saying that you want them to like state that what is and what isn't allowed for. Well, if you go right now over to the TOS, you look up nudity and sexual policies. It literally says for artistic expression, it is allowed. It's allowed during artistic performances. It's exempt into their nudity policy. So you're saying that some people's music, because they pay you more money, is art, and other people's isn't because they
art.
That's crazy.
The money,
because the TOS specifically says though,
I'm not saying it's right though. It's
but if you they make exceptions for music videos. That's why
it's like you're turning a blind eye to it though. Like Boogie, it's kind of like it's Boogie's argument. Like you're turning a blind eye. Now, look, I'm not saying you're not entitled to your opinion, Diva, but it's really tough for me to swallow an internet icon like Boogie is just like, eat the double standard.
Yeah,
I reject it. I reject the double standard.
You should have said something. I would have kept my mouth shut. Which
that's
in private, I've talked to people about it, and they kind of agreed. I'm like, is it shitty that YouTube is in this place? That YouTube's going into this direction? Yeah, I completely disagree.
I don't know. I think it's different if your buddies are talking like
that. In this direction, YouTube has been in that direction for quite some time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. YouTube's in this direction, so it's not that I agree with their policy and what they're doing, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my God! Here's YouTube
right. Let me read you TOS right here. So they're saying that something that can get you taken down on YouTube is provocative dancing that is focused on the dancer's genitals, buttocks, or breast. That's her biggest controversial point here. But if you look at their age restriction policy, whether breasts, buttocks, or genitals, clothed or unclothed, are the focal point of the video, that can be age restricted. Whether the subject is depicted in a pose that is intended to sexually arouse the viewer, that can be age restricted. When the language used in the video is graphic or lewd, when the actions of the video invite sexual activity such as kissing or provocative dancing or fondling is in here as an age restricted category. Sexual imagery or audio, blurred, marked, obscured. Sexual image audio is prolonged in the content. Like all of the things that follow age restriction basically explain her music videos to a T. And on top of that, an exempt from this the entire thing is like artistic performances and music videos. So
I agree.
Just buy TOS.
No, what she's saying, though,
it's not even like it's supposed to apply to the 70% of us. In their own TOS, it doesn't even apply there.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so it's just like, I understand what you're saying. You get why they did it, but I think you're better off speaking out about it and saying I don't care why you did it, and this is horseshit.
About it, but I'm not shocked. Now, one example that I did see, and I did agree with it. I don't know who tweeted it. I forgot who it was, and it was naked yoga. Now that.
Yeah, I seen that before too. I was about to bring that up.
The naked yoga. I was like, okay, I can ride with this example. That's literally,
especially the thumbnail. The thumbnail is
the
just.
Thumbnail itself,
see some
I
naked
can
yoga.
ride with 100%. 100% using that as an argument. I was like, okay, now that you can argue with YouTube with. That's
Hell
a
yeah,
good
this
argument.
pussy breast all over here.
That's what I'm saying. The thumbnail is just pussy. Like
I didn't. You see what I'm saying, Tommy? I'm just saying.
But this is age restricted. I mean, like, I'm sorry, Nick's right. If you're going by the rules apply across the board. We don't make special. This is wrong.
But YouTube does.
And that's not for transparency. We ask them to tell us what we can and can't do. Then they do, and then they just ban us anyway.
You can't have it that way.
We finally got transparency.
Better transparent. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying we need better transparency. And I think the naked yoga compared to
look.
No, it's better.
Oh my god!
She's probably consulted lawyers to go over the TOS to tell her what she can and can't do, and then YouTube's just like, "Fuck it."
You don't understand. It's art.
I'm bookmarking this shit. I'm bookmarking this shit.
That's bullshit.
Look, she put a camera in her asshole.
Yeah, that's bullshit. You see? Now you see what I'm saying?
I can see this girl's kidneys. That's what I can see.
Shut the hell up, dude. This is not bullshit. This is excellence. This is yoga.
This is like when Mumpy Jones got taken down and Rucka Rucka Ali was allowed to stay on. Do you remember who Rucka Rucka Ali was? The guy who made like songs about because it was music, he got away with it for so long, but they were like incredibly racist songs.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think he made one. It was like about how like they put token blacks in society or whatever and trained them out so they could like give them Mets tickets and stuff like that and shop them around. Like it was like the most racist shit that I've ever heard.
Is that the one? That's the one KSI was involved with, though, right?
Yeah.
KSI was actually involved in that whole thing.
Chicken now.
But you guys, I gotta hop off.
All right, sweetie. Hey, listen.
I just want to make my argument very, very
fair.
clear.
We got you. But I want to forget all that though. I want to stream with you and whatever's going on. If you want to talk to me privately, I'm sure I fucking
yeah. I messaged it to you. But no, basically, I want to make it clear to the audience. I think what happened to Belle was fucked up. It was wrong as fucked up. I want her channel back. I want to make that 100% clear. 2, YouTube needs to be more transparent. Period in discussion. 3, I think naked yoga as an example of what happened to Belle being fucked up. Yeah. Like using that to counter YouTube with is better than WAP because they're just going to sit here and be like,
I can see her labia.
Bad for that. Fuck you.
Dude, like transparency is like a positive and negative. It's not an overarching positive. You talk to a lot of creators, they're like, we need transparency. We know where we don't need transparency, political discussion. Because if we do get like an exact what you can and can't do, that's article bait that the articles are going to go, look, he just violated this policy that's very specifically worded here. And then YouTube will have to take channels down. The vagueness of these policies help YouTube basically not ban as many people as they probably would.
Yeah.
I think they're on our side on that one.
Yeah, but it also allows them to ban the people they just don't like. That's the other problem.
Yeah, it helps the banning of the stupid bullshit, but then in situations where they want to ban somebody, they could just say,
everybody remembers Leafy getting banned. Everyone remembers Sargon getting demonetized.
Yep.
Nobody remembers the times when they defended the video recently about election fraud and people discussing it. They got 5 articles made on them, and they said, we're not taking that video down. Nobody remembers when they decided to demonetize Crowder instead of...
I was about to say, does everybody remember that they gave Crowder his monetization back?
Yeah, like with QAnon. Like the only he came on my platform a couple weeks ago, and he was really, really sweet and dope. And he basically said the only reason why that video went back up, was not because of us bitching and screaming. It had nothing to do with that. Insider had to make a phone call. Insider called YouTube and told him to put that video back up. That's why that video's back up.
It's like, you know. Here's my problem with your argument.
We tried.
Let me get the last word on this one. Here's what the problem is. We're justifying people getting Monkey Jones, and I have a problem with that. And that's where I'll leave.
They still haven't owned up to that, have they?
No, of course not. They let him on.
People think the feds had something to do with that.
Yeah, I don't think the feds had anything to fucking do with that. I think a fed may have pointed it out to Susan, but I don't think they went and said, take that fucking down, because that would be a constitutional issue. That would actually be, because now you got the federal government telling the that's a whole different boy.
No, I'm saying put it on the radar. The feds got involved.
Maybe the feds put it on the radar because they're jackasses and they're a bunch of fucking morons that don't deserve an ounce of respect after what they did to the juggalos. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'm just saying a video might be coming out about that you might want to see pretty soon.
Yeah. All right, Diva. Talk to you later. Take care.
But yeah, bye. Y'all have a good Thanksgiving.
Talk to you later. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. I wonder if we're gonna have a Thanksgiving show or not. I probably will.
I'm not trying to say like that the Monkey Jones things are okay or even acceptable. I'm just trying to say that like when you say YouTube is trying to take everybody down and all
there
this stuff,
are situations where we don't give them enough credit. I do.
They've put their neck out for us.
They're better. They are better than most, but I just don't believe that even if that be the case, you keep the pressure off. Because at the moment, I think I hate to say it, I love Diva to death. I think the moment you take Diva's attitude, which appears to be, in my opinion, it's not an attack on her, kind of lackadaisical, that people start adopting that. She's
I just compare the CEOs. I compare Susan to I would say probably the best case scenario for fairness is Zuckerberg. I would say he's probably the best one. And then I say like it could always be worse. It could be Jack Dorsey.
Yeah, I was about to say Jack Dorsey is really somebody who...
It could be Hassan. It could be Hassan from Twitch. It could be Hassan from Twitch.
Oh God!
At least girls would have equal opportunity.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, equal. No.
Like half the platform has an opportunity.
I was thinking about this yesterday because you brought up.
There would be more female commentators if we did that.
Having Hassan as Twitch being the fucking like point man for security or discipline is like having Saudi Arabia on the Human Rights Council. Jesus Christ. Yeah. All right, let me get these Agmar in there and we'll call it a day. Agmar, whatever the fuck your name is, I don't know. What's up?
Hey, what's going on? I just had a quick question. Since all this is going on, how do you think this will affect like comedy? Like kind of like raunchy comedy and stuff like that.
It's like this. We always think. Here's the thing. We always think when one of these things happen. All right, we're always like, and I think fans are getting sick of this shit too. Ever since 2017 and the original Adpocalypse, right? Yeah. We always pretend it's like the fucking end of the world. All right, but everybody learns to adjust, and things kind of move on. But what I think it does affect on a more subtle level, and I think you see, it doesn't happen overnight. Like these creators don't go away overnight. Some of them adjust. So we just don't have the edgy humor as we do, because YouTubers are basically, that's why everybody's going to be screaming about transparency, because and I even see the political YouTubers, hey, we'll do what the fuck you want. We're fucking whores. We want to be YouTube famous. Just tell us what the fuck you want, and we'll say we're fucking communist if it helps.
Jesus.
I think the biggest threat outside of the the vague terms of service shit is, especially if you start to get popular, especially in the political sphere. Yeah. The biggest threat is somebody writing an article about you, because YouTube will bend over backwards like that because of that article.
That's
true. They'll go, wait, no, look, we banned them.
Which is exactly the Jack Dorsey way of doing things, because they protect reporters. Learn to code horse shit. That fucking jackass Ramen Manuel brought that learn to code thing fucking up again, and like unironically, fucking asshole. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable.
They write an article about it, and it's totally fine. And then anybody else says that you're a terrible, horrible person. You need to be banned.
Fucked. Jack Blonde.
Yeah,
thanks for the donation. I do appreciate it. I didn't catch that one before. All right, I think we're done. I think I'm done. Potentially we have a show tomorrow, but I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. World of Warcraft's about to open in about 2 hours. I don't know when I'm going to get it.
No.
Dude, this is like the worst.
Don't expect a lot of videos this fucking next 2 weeks. Or
you play Retail or Classic?
I got a lot of things going on. I got to move. I had to move with people here to check it out. And there's nothing going on, and I'm going to... Here's what I will do. I promise not to stream this shit, so I'm just not going to see me.
Dude, just be up at 5 o'clock in the morning my time, just grinding World of Warcraft for fucking hours.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm reading. Here's what I'm doing this year. I am going to read the story closely. I'm not going to fucking.
Why?
I'm going to try not to.
Dude, I literally gave him stories about like fucking cease and desist and all that shit, and there's nothing going on. Literally nothing.
Nothing's
happening.
I covered everything. I covered everything that was extra from yesterday. And now what am I going to come up with tomorrow? About love phones or some shit? Stream it, you pussy. World of Warcraft is the only thing I've ever streamed where I started off, and my game streams are not my talk show streams or numbers, all right?
Yep.
Where I started off with like 20, 30 people and literally had 0 for over an hour. So it's not.
You're literally
hey, man.
Well, put it this way. If you stream something with me.
Well, yeah, man.
Don't feel bad,
We're
man.
gonna get the
Dan
ban.
has the same numbers on his Twitch, so don't feel
I don't know,
bad.
should I stream it on Twitch? Really? I don't know.
Dude,
Yeah.
stream
That's a
on
lot of
fucking
money, I guess,
YouTube. I
for
pull
a
like
person of color.
250 people. I pull 20 on Twitch.
You're fucking more famous than me.
And I stream on my second channel, and I pull more than most people pull. On
Tell
Twitch.
him that. I've been saying that
I
forever.
have my own fucking YouTube streaming channel. Go fuck yourself. I have my shit. Everybody knows. Nobody wants to watch me talk about old video games. When we play Fortnite and fucking give shit away.
Okay, don't go that far.
Just play zombies, dude. I played with Augie yesterday. He had 36 downs.
Augie's more
and he
famous
quit.
than me.
He quit the game. He literally quit the game. I literally I literally played a solo match with Augie dying in the background.
I'm so glad I now know I am not the worst person to ever play zombies.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Oh man.
I don't know. I played zombies once with Tobes and
Bro, I had fucking 100 and no, I had 1,500 kills by the end of the game, and he had 129.
Oh, he probably not. I don't know. I would have luckily I would have got 100 kills in that fucking game.
Horrible.
Dude, the chat was like molding at him because he was dead the whole game while he was streaming it.
Pick me up! Pick me up! Pick me up!
I'm down. I'm down.
I'm
I had
down.
like an
I'm down.
all-star loadout. I pulled the ray gun on like an early round. It was like the best game I ever had.
And you had no help.
None.
No.
You know what else is fun? That Dirty Bomb mode.
I've
been playing that.
I hate that so much.
I don't like
And-
bigger game types in Call of Duty.
I don't play multiplayer anymore. I literally would play Modern Warfare, but I will not play Cold War multiplayer.
Modern
And
Warfare is definitely better.
Like the only reason I say that is because like you get like a shit ton of XP for doing it.
Dude, I'm fucking first prestige 37.
Jesus fucking.
And I only
Christ.
play zombies.
Yeah.
Jesus.
All right.
Calm
This is the best
down.
multiplayer in years.
What's that?
Oh yeah,
Best
He lies.
multiplayer
He
in
Best
likes to do
multiplayer in years.
Wait,
and
wait.
the worst maps.
Cold War?
Yeah,
I
he
gotta say
likes it.
multiplayer was better.
Nah.
Modern
The
Warfare.
maps were
Modern Warfare multiplayer is shit.
Dude, Modern Warfare's multiplayer felt crisp, dude. It was,
It did.
It was so.
I don't
it was so
like
nice to get a kill in that game.
I
I feel like time to
brought me
kill is
joy.
way too high in Cold War.
When I committed genocide in that game, I really felt like I was committing genocide.
Good God.
All right. Everybody, I think that's enough. Thanks so much. Thank you, Biscuit Bastard, for being on the show today. I do appreciate it. Get out of here, Agmar. Thanks for the call. Do appreciate it. And I'll see you all tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know. Shadowlands opens tonight. Check it out. I
This is
will.
the almighty infinite, independent excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist. Fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne. Running with these Wolverines, okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree. Chi-town to King's home, slapping fives, black stones. 6 mile to danger zones, bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated the evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me read the Migos to you like I'm Chip Kelly. They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to breathe, here's a headline.